How's it going? This is going to be a video on the worst trip that I've ever had. For, I guess, some background information, I'm 20 years old, but this trip happened the day after my 20th birthday. I have taken LSD 3 times in my life, and the first 2 times were very fun and very, I guess, benign. Uh, this most recent and hopefully last time I ever take it is done, needless to say, very interesting experience that I have reflected on a lot. Um, Kind of how I view my life now and what I think about my current self and how my philosophy has changed is a lot more interesting to me. But as for what actually happened in the trip, I'm just gonna say it like this. So I woke up. I stayed the night at my friend's house, and we were planning a trip the next day. So I woke up the day after my birthday, my 20th birthday. It was his 20th birthday too. Um, or sorry, it was his 23rd birthday, but we have the same birthday. We took the substance, and immediately, normally I like suck on it and then I swallow it, but I knew these tabs were good, so I just swallowed it anyways. I don't know if that made a difference. I also didn't eat breakfast. Um, so I started feeling really nauseous, and like that's not like a strange feeling. LSD makes you feel nauseous. And for those that don't know, LSD is a it lodges it looks like, I think it looks like serotonin, and it lodges itself in your like serotonin receptors of your brain, and like constantly fires them for a while, and the serotonin receptors can't get out of it. So in order to get rid of it, the brain absorbs the cell with the compound in it, and deconstructing the cell, or cells, I mean, because higher dose means it goes to more cells, um, makes you hallucinate. And it makes you feel different and all that. And the good feeling is kind of like from the fact that your serotonin receptors have been like jammed up. Um, that's why, like, before you start seeing things, you feel really happy. That's why. Uh, and then, anyways, we took it, and I immediately started feeling nauseous. Don't know why. I don't know if that was because I didn't eat. I don't know if that was because I was hungry. I don't know if it's because I just took a thing that you don't normally digest, but whatever. And then we get really, really happy, and this happy lasts for like an hour or something. Like, it felt like a long time. Who knows how long it was? Well, so we were sitting there, and I was on his couch, and he was in his chair, and we were sitting there, and we're just we're just talking and all that, and I'm like, oh, let's do something, because, like, I don't know, I was just kind of bored. But we eventually just get so happy that we're okay with just sitting there, and we're just laughing, and we're just talking about stupid stuff. And something I remember talking about was that I know 3 girls that are named Rachel, and I was like, select your Rachel, and like he would select Rachel A, Rachel B, Rachel C, and I would talk about Rachel, the Rachel he selected, and then I'd forget that I talked about Rachel, and I'd be like, yo, there's this person Rachel that you should hear about. And it just kept happening over and over. And I remember he slumped out of his chair, and his back was on the floor and his legs were in the chair. Like if this is the chair, he and my fingers are his leg, and my palm is like his abdomen. It was like this. Um, and I remember he reminded me of the nation of Kosovo, and I was like, you look like Kosovo. Well, I didn't say he looked like Kosovo at first, because I was like, oh, I'm too smart. He doesn't know what Kosovo is. But everybody knows what Kosovo is. So then I realized that, and then I started laughing like crazy, and I told him about forgot how I got so under the influence that I forgot that everyone else knew except for me what Kosovo was. And that's kind of the last thing I remember before I think I fell asleep or something, and then I woke up, and I was feeling really nauseous at this point. I thought I was going to throw up. Well, actually, he went to go get me a trash can, and then we came back. And this is when I stopped feeling so happy. The serotonin stopped being lodged in my brain, and my brain had begun to deconstruct the cell. Uh, or not the serotonin, but the compound that resembles serotonin. And my brain had begun to reconstruct serotonin receptor, and I thought I was throwing up for like an hour straight. Um, I remember I was stuck in a loop where I would look at my friend, I'd smile, and then my brain would think, "You're faking this happiness. You need to break out of this loop." And I'd be like, "Oh no!" And I'd lean down, and I thought I was vomiting, and then the vomiting would freak me out, and I'd get back up, and I'd look at my friend, and I'd smile, and my brain would be like, "You're stuck in a loop. You need to get out of this loop." And so I'd lay back down, and then I'd think I was vomiting, and I'd go back up. And I kept doing that over and over and over, and I was thinking about how I was stuck in a loop. But, like, if I tried to do a different action or think a different thing, I couldn't. And that went on for what felt like forever. It felt like a really long time. Also, if you're wondering how much I took around 220 micrograms. Anyways, that went on for a really long time. Uh, just this feeling of nausea kind of like dictating what my mood was. My mood was just panic. I was like pulsating, sweating. I was really freaking out. I was shaking. At least that's what I remember. It's kind of like you don't really know how you feel. You can like feel the air and you can feel your clothes and stuff, but like it's kind of sensory overload, and you like don't really know what you're doing at all. Like you think you're doing this action, but you're not really sure because just all your senses are being stimulated at once. Anyways, I don't remember how I broke out of that loop. I don't remember really anything. I also forgot that I was on a substance. I kind of just thought that this is what reality was, just being stuck in a loop. I just remember being really hot and sweaty, but just really freaking out, and just rolling over and over and over, thinking that I was just in a perpetual state of vomiting for hours. I didn't actually vomit, though. I just thought I was vomiting. And vomiting, for me personally, is kind of a big deal. I have an immense fear of vomiting. Vomiting terrifies me. It's like my number one fear. But anyways, so eventually I broke out of that loop, and another time I was on the couch. I remember at some point between me feeling really happy and before I was in that loop of vomiting, I texted my friend, and I was like, "You're so special. I love you. Like, you mean so much to me." But I don't remember doing that, but I remember knowing that I did that. Like, I know that I did it, but I don't remember doing it. And another loop I was stuck in, I was looking at my friend, and I couldn't move. I was like, I think I forgot how to move. And I saw him in his chair, and this, if hell is real, this is what hell was. Just the immense fear of not being able to move your body, and I didn't know who my friend was. I forgot who he was. I forgot, like, what a chair was. Like, I forgot what walls were. I forgot that I was seeing things. So I see him, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what is that? Like, how do I get out of this? Like, I need to get out. I don't know what this is, but it's freaking me out. And, but, like, he wasn't, like, a monster or anything. He was just sitting there, and he just looked so alien and insane. And he was, like, he's also, like, seeing his own stuff, so he probably forgot I was there, too. And he just, like, seemed so crazy and foreign to me, and he's freaking me out. And I couldn't move, and I was just stuck looking at him, like, panicking. And I wasn't nauseous anymore. But I did, every now and then, I would feel, like, this part of my body, like my chin and, like, my upper chest for vomit. And I was so wet that I thought I did vomit it, but I was actually wet from sweat. And, I remember just looking at him for, it felt like eternity. Like, it was such a long time that I was just looking at him, and I couldn't stop looking at him. And then eventually, at some point, I remember the visuals were so crazy that they were indescribable, and I don't remember what they looked like, really. But, just, you know, like, how, like, in anime, like, when characters are, like, fighting, like, the background is just lines moving. That's what everything looked like. It kind of felt like I was falling. But I thought I was vomiting, and I remember screaming. I yelled as loud as I could, "Oh my God, Harrison," because Harrison is my friend's name. I screamed that as loud as I could, and then I kept asking for like an hour straight, "Wait, did I just yell? oh, I'm so sorry about yelling. And then I forget that I asked that. And then I would apologize again for yelling. And that went on for like an hour. And I don't really remember, I really want to remember what scared me so bad, but I don't remember what scared me. I think, I think what scared me was that I thought I was vomiting. At least it felt like I was like, I think what scared me, I don't quite remember, is that I thought I was vomiting. I yelled, "Oh my God, Harrison," and then I could feel my insides pour out of me, like, just like, blah. Like I thought that's what was happening. Um, I didn't vomit. I didn't vomit during this whole thing. I just thought I was going to. I think I was hungry, and I guess hunger is somewhat like a cousin to nausea. It's somewhat related. Anyways, I find a little bit late. I think I fell asleep. I woke up on his floor, and I say, "Hey, how long have we been doing this?" And he says it's 3 o'clock, and we took it at 10. And it takes my brain a second to figure out, like, 3 p.m. What does that mean? What does 3 p.m. mean? What does it mean? What is time? And I was doing a clock, 5 hours. And I'm like, 5 hours? Oh my God, 5 hours? Like, that was like what I was like, no way we've done this 5 hours. Because at the time, I had no memory of anything. And then I remembered that I yelled. And pretty much the rest of the trip was just me feeling just really sad and scared and alone. And I was shaking and panicking. And the memories of the trip have been coming back to me slow and steady. And I've been like stitching it together piece by piece. Now that it's over, I didn't remember this all in one sitting. I've been remembering this over the past few months, and each time I remember it, it freaks me out. But I'm kind of able to build upon it and be like, if that scares you so bad, then you need to take like a different approach to this so it doesn't scare you anymore. And it usually doesn't work. It usually still scares me. Like looking at my friends being alien. Like, you just need to not forget who your friends are. But like, how do you? That's like a stupid thing to think in the first place. And how do you do that? At least to me, like I could deconstruct it, and you could make an argument like, oh no, that's actually a really good idea, and you're a great person for thinking that, and this trip was beneficial to you. But no, it wasn't. It was so scary. And I'm kind of afraid that if I ever do it again, I'll just have another bad trip. But I kind of want to do it again to cancel out the effects that this bad trip had done on me, so that way I don't live in like a life of trauma. But I don't want to do it again because I don't want to instigate more trauma. Kind of like in Apocalypse Now, where like the main character is traumatized from war and he doesn't want to go back, but the new trauma from war has canceled out his old trauma, and now he's even more traumatized. Just yeah. But yeah. Anyways. That was my trip. Don't do this stuff. Whoever you like, if this sounds interesting to you, like it's not worth it. I haven't gained anything from this experience. I've just been like, oh, okay. I guess I went through a terrifying experience for no reason. Like that's how I feel. I feel like I was voluntarily raped. Like rape is something that's involuntary. Like it's by the definition of rape is that you do not sign up for it. But I felt like I signed up for something that I didn't sign up for. Like that's what doing this thing is like, and I don't ever want to do it again. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching.